route because you're not that far out of college, right?
Right.
So, and I'm sure you've been thinking about this and had that entrepreneur aspect of it. So that's what we're going to talk about on the show today, guys. So really looking forward to it. Hey guys, I'm Kyle Miller. Welcome to the Kyle Miller Show. We are here today with an awesome entrepreneur getting things done and spinning her butt off. It's exciting. I'm really excited to have you on the show. Really excited, and it's exciting to see what you're doing over there. Today we have Maxine Jewel Clifford. She is with Pruvello. It's a gym. It's a spinning gym. Where you
it's
come
an
indoor cycling studio. So it's pretty exciting. I've looked at it. Really cool branding. I like that. I like how sleek it is and modern it is and stuff. So I'm really excited to talk to you about kind of the whole aspect, the whole journey of how you started with this, right? How you went from being a UVA student and then growing into owning your own business and purchasing it, and like the mindset that you went through that, and then like why, right? So super excited about that as well. So tell me, Maxine, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Like, tell me a little bit.
So I am from Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay.
I grew up as an athlete, played tons of sports as a kid, came to school at UVA and found Pruvello at the very beginning of my second year of college.
Okay.
Mainly because I was no longer competing like in an athletic arena. I was swimming growing up, playing volleyball, playing lacrosse, and came to school and wasn't on any teams anymore, and didn't have any sort of routine for myself as far as like fitness and exercise and taking care of myself. And so my older sister actually brought me to my first class at Pruvello.
Okay.
She is 3 years older than me, and was a fourth year at UVA during my first year.
Okay.
So the Charlottesville Pruvello studio actually opened in 2015, and I took my first class in spring of 2016.
Okay.
So I was there within the first year. I started working at the business almost immediately afterward. I started as an intern behind the front desk because I loved the environment, I loved the workout, and I felt a sense of belonging, and was really satisfied with the level of physical fitness experience that I got out of that first class, second class, really like first several months that I was exercising there and spending time there. And so I became a teacher within the first 6 months of joining the business.
Right.
And then 2.5 years later graduated from UVA and moved to Athens, Georgia to open up and manage the studio that is now there.
So it's funny that you say that because a lot of athletes, right, college athletes, not in college athletes, but high school athletes, and then going to college. A lot of them don't play college sports again, but they have that tenacity, that fire, that I want to compete type stuff. And it's nice that once you find that outlet that you can put yourself in and take that energy of that same competingness, like that, because it's a drive. Like,
right.
I find that athletes have that a lot, and when they don't, man, it's destructive.
Well, so one of the things that is really unique about Pruvello is that it's actually a very non-competitive environment, which, peeling back the layers, is a large part of why I was so drawn to the business.
Okay.
Because I grew up in a hyper-competitive environment, whether it was mainly it was competing in athletics.
Right.
Both of my siblings were athletes. Our family loved sports. And spent a lot of our time, attending different sporting events for whoever in the family was competing, and celebrating each other for, our achievements in like on an athletic front. And so I actually reached a point like near the end of my high school career where the competitive side of my like athletic life really was not something that felt very healthy or felt very good for me anymore. And that's why I chose not to continue to swim or play on another team, like entering into college.
Gotcha.
So coming to Pure Velo, some background on our studio. We ride bikes in the dark. It's candlelit in the cycle room, and there are no mirrors, whereas a lot of fitness studios you go into have mirrors on all of the walls, so that no matter which way you turn, you can see yourself, and you can see the people that are also working out in the room with you.
Right.
So our studio does not have mirrors. It doesn't have lights. It doesn't have any leaderboards or metrics at all, actually, in the workout.
Okay.
It's all intuitive, and our instructors motivate riders like from a place of like wanting them to feel out the beat of the music, execute the choreography that is instructed and cued, but in a way that they feel comfortable and safe to work out really, really hard, not because they're being compared with anyone else in the room, or comparing themselves to anyone else in the room,
right,
but rather because it's just something that they actually really enjoy and fills their cup and makes them feel really good about themselves.
That's interesting. That's real interesting. So by not having the mirrors, and being dark, you can't see it, and then you're just taking the music inside and focusing internally on yourself.
Yes.
So it's almost like meditation in regards to me, because then if I can't see anything, there's no outside force making me do something. So now it's all coming from internal.
Right.
And so I have to want to do this and feel good about it. To me, that's what that would make me do.
It's interesting. I've never heard anyone compare it to meditation. And it's not that you can't see anything in the room, but there's like very little lighting. So it's not like you're in the complete darkness.
Right.
And all other senses are shut off. But similar, like we do want to kind of like create an environment that lets our riders and our clients focus on the way they feel on the bike,
right,
and get in touch with the real reasons as to why they're there to move their bodies. Some riders like to track metrics on their own, like whether it's a fitness watch or an Oura ring or something like that, and they can. That's a choice that they can make, and
right,
there's space for them to do that. But our entire premise behind why we show up is really rooted in movement that feels good to do, and that feels healthy both on the body and on the mind.
Yeah.
And doing so in a place surrounded by other people so that there's a community connection that takes place.
I think that has a lot, because I work out by myself a lot. Right?
Yeah.
I have a gym at my house. I work out and I go down and I slog through it sometimes. And I'm just like, man, I wish I had somebody here that could help me. It doesn't even necessarily have to do the same workout as me, right? Just somebody there. It's like, oh, okay, and like feed off the energy. Because I'm sure that's probably what happens in there. You see somebody else just getting after it and pushing, and I can do it. If all these people in here do it too, that little push, that little motivation, everybody's in here.
Right. I mean, you think about it, movement and heat is energy. And so when you're trying to move and warm up your body, if you're in a room of other people that are moving and doing the same, you're raising the entire vibration of the room.
Yeah. No, I love it. Well, like when you started, let's go back to when you started working there, right? And you were doing the internship. Like, walk me through that. Did you think that you would own a gym?
So that's a great question. When I met the founder, on day one, I told her I wanted to teach. But I was brand new to the experience of riding bikes indoors, and didn't have the coordination yet, nor like the level of experience to be getting up on the podium and leading classes.
Right.
So that's why she started me as an intern. Mainly because she saw potential, but wanted to bring me onto the team and help me develop in the areas that she saw that I maybe needed some coaching in, prior to actually going through the training and becoming an instructor. And so I was eager from the get-go to get further into the business. And my mom, for some background, was a cycling instructor.
Okay.
So I always saw fitness instruction as a great side hustle, because you get to work out, you get to make money. It's like a fun, it's a fun environment to be in.
Right.
And so as soon as I started teaching, this was in the beginning of 2017. The founder and her husband and their business partners had plans in place to open up 2 more studios in Auburn, Alabama, and in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Okay.
So they were looking at college markets.
Right.
And it was at that time that I had conversations with her about managing a studio after I graduated school. So while I was still in school, I got to be a part of the opening of the Auburn studio and Chapel Hill studios. So I got to visit both of the locations. I got to watch new managers go through the process of training, and see what we built in Charlottesville come to life in 2 separate towns. And so rolling into my 4th year of school, the founder put plans in place to open up a 4th location in Athens, Georgia, mainly to give me, well, for many reasons, but really to give me that next level step in my career, to be able to put me in a management position. Mm-hmm. And so I moved to Athens, Georgia, and opened up the business there, and thought, at that time, the plan was going to be to take the profits from the existing studios and fund more studios opening, and eventually package up and sell the brand to a larger firm that would help us grow to an even bigger scale.
Right.
Where I could take a position somewhere higher up that ladder, training people or helping open the studios, or working in that capacity, over the brand.
As an executive.
Yes, yeah. And I that was what I saw as my future. This was in 2019. The pandemic happened in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a little kink in those things.
Right. So that sucked a little bit. It was a hard time to be in fitness studios because of for so many reasons, but on the operational side of things, all 4 of the studios shut down for a period of time and then reopened in varying capacities with restrictions on the number of bikes we could have,
right.
Clients having to wear masks, in some studios actually in the classes, and just the whole climate at large around group exercise had changed.
Yeah.
And so it was a long, I don't want to say battle, but just it was basically you're going up, and you fall off a cliff. Mm-hmm. It was a long way to get back up to where we were pre-pandemic.
Right.
And dealing with 4 different studios in 4 different states that had different laws with COVID. Mm-hmm. It was a lot. And so at that point, the founder, and she and I had many conversations about it. She had many conversations with her other business partners, and about what other options there were to continue to grow and scale Pure Velo in a way that would sort of protect each individual studio,
right.
And allow more to open that might be a little more pandemic proof, or just a different way of growing the business.
Right.
And that's where the franchising model became a really attractive option. Mm-hmm. Because in the original model, all 4 studios were underneath the same company, the same LLC, and now in the franchise, each location well, the 2 locations that I have are separate entities. The franchisors who bought all 4 of the studios and then later sold me the Charlottesville and the Athens studio still own the other 2.
Okay.
And they're trying to sell them. So
How many total are there?
there's 4.
Okay. Just
I
4.
own 2 of them. The franchisors own the other 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to sell those. Now, your degree, what's your degree in at UVA?
Take a guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not business?
No.
Yeah, that's what I was going to guess.
Nope, not
Because-
that. No. I majored in media studies.
Okay.
I minored in sociology. I really spent my time at UVA taking classes that I thought were equal parts easy and fun and interesting.
Uh-huh.
That's not how I started. I got there thinking I was going to be a doctor.
Gotcha.
And didn't work out.
Had to switch
Yeah.
things up.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, and I probably guessed it. Probably, I was thinking it probably is not in the business aspect of it, but this is kind of like where it's led. And so now you didn't really have that. I don't know. What I'm trying to get is, you don't necessarily have to have a business major or anything to own a business. It's through experience. It's through hard work, dedication, and learning along the way. So if anybody's out there well, I didn't get a business degree, I can't go into business. That's not the case, right?
No. I would say what you need though is really good friends and mentors and people that want to see you succeed that you can talk to and collaborate with.
Absolutely.
Because it's a lot to learn and it's helpful to have people in your corner.
And people doing it. So you got to see the business running as an internship, moving forward. You're growing in that atmosphere, right? Mm-hmm. And then now you own 2 of them, right? And it keeps going. So that's pretty exciting. What would you say that I don't even know how to, is it like a cycling gym? What do you call it? A boutique
indoor cycling studio.
Okay. What would you say the boutique indoor cycling studio would, when you're talking to client, who comes to those classes? What do you see, who benefits from that the most? What have you seen in your experience?
I mean, that's a great question. The easiest, top level answer is college students, mainly because if you look back at my story and where I was in my life when I found Pure Velo, it's a shared experience of a lot of young men and women. Mm-hmm. They grow up as athletes, they come to college, if they're not competing in the NCAA or doing club sports, they're looking for something that's going to help provide them structure, a sense of community, and also give them a kick-ass workout.
Right.
Because it's another thing. It's the workout is challenging. Mm-hmm. It's in the
Give
dark
me an example.
though, and it's
give me an example
it's
of
in your
the
control.
workout. Do we just go in and listen to music and then just cycle at our own pace?
This is good. It's a really masterfully curated experience. So the instructors piece together playlists for every single class they teach.
And every class is different?
Every class is unique.
Okay.
And it's delivered in the moment to the people that are in there. So they go in with a playlist and with a set choreography.
Okay.
That is timed to the beat of the music. And then the way that they cue is a really high level communication skill because they're moving on the bike and they're doing a lot of the class with their riders. Mm-hmm. And they're also cueing ahead of the beat drops what moves are coming so that when the beat changes, the riders in the room are all moving in sync.
Right.
It is really, really cool to be a part of an experience like that. And it's why it's super fun. I like to explain to people that it feels like a workout dance routine. Men love it though. I know, it's they get in their head about it being
Dancing
a
with the
dance
Stars
workout,
right
but both men and women have a lot to gain out of the experience there.
Right.
But it's a routine that you go in and execute that you don't know before and you don't remember when you leave, other than the fact that it was really fun.
Okay.
And one of the things that I think really sets us apart and why in the entire fitness arena. Mm-hmm. We have such a special niche is that we thrive on creating an experience for people that really doesn't feel like it's a workout in the traditional sense. Like it's a part of your day that you're going in because you need to get your workout in, you need to burn the calories, you need to get the sweat.
Right.
It's like a part of the day that you really look forward to, that you get there, and the entire environment and aesthetic of the studio doesn't look like a traditional fitness studio. We have rugs and couches that make it sort of feel like you're in someone's living room. There's a disco ball. Like there's a lot of really fun quirks to that space. That you can tell it's real people that run that business and care about it and spend time there every day, and it's real people that show up there to spend time there every day as a part of their like self-care routine.
Gotcha. What would you say, like, are there specific times that people can come in for this, or there's
Yes.
set times? Like, where do we find those times at?
Yeah. So I also want to go back to your question about like who the clients are.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
So like there's college students. We also have like high school students that ride with us. We also have your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. We have generations like the moms and daughters that come together.
Okay.
Like all the way up to like 60 plus that ride at the studio. So
Okay.
it's in part because like cycling is low impact. So it's something that most bodies like can do for a long time without injury.
Right.
Or can be a good complement to other forms of exercise.
Okay.
For times, we have set times on the schedule. Our schedule changes throughout the year because the volume of foot traffic we have changes throughout the year.
Understand.
And, mirrors the UVA calendar a little bit. So like our max number of classes that we'll offer in a week is during the fall and spring.
Okay.
UVA undergrad semesters. Our winter break schedule is a lot lighter. Our summer schedule is lighter too.
Okay.
But classes start as early as 5:45, 6 a.m. and usually go throughout the morning, with the last class starting at 9 a.m. The weekends are different.
Okay.
And then in the afternoons start up at 4:45, and then certain nights of the week go as late as 6:45.
Okay. Okay. And then just jump, where do we go to find those schedules? To the website?
Right. The website, we also have an app, the Pure VeloCycle app.
So it's easy you have to schedule, you have to get on, you have to make an appointment, basically?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Kind of like I've done the hot yoga here in town.
Yes.
And you got to sign up for a time slot to make sure that you have enough bikes and make sure you get enough people in there.
And like really specific to our studios, there's a set number of bikes in the room. So like you can't have more people in the class than there are bikes to ride.
What would you say about somebody who's never done this before, and kind of looking to get into something that's low impact, that is not competitive? Maybe they're body conscious, right?
Right.
What would you say? What would you tell them about coming into the studio?
Come, it's fun. It's just like whatever fears they have behind, whether it's trying something new or participating in like a intense exercise experience. We've designed elements of our studio to like mitigate any of those fears and create an environment that really just feels welcoming and comfortable for people. The workout is hard, but you're in control of the level of difficulty. And so like there's no measure of success or failure if you're turning resistance or not turning resistance. In fact, our more experienced instructors actually cue the resistance with like a level of like they cue the class with a lot more choice given to the riders as to like, here's the feeling you're going for. You figure out how to get there. Like more so like empowering the riders to be in control of their own fitness and their own body.
So there's a push for them, but they're not necessarily. We're not really tracking. We want you to have that experience inside, feel it. Go a little harder,
right? I've been to like fitness classes before where I get like fitness anxiety before because of like I hate treadmills. I have a fear of falling on my face on the treadmill.
Yeah.
And like actually just like being nervous of like the experience of going in there like at other studios. It's something that if people feel that about Pure Velo, they shouldn't, because it really, it's a dark room, and it's a super fun and high energy workout that at the end of the day, all I want for our riders is that they leave feeling really good about themselves, and that they leave like having had like a good like burst of energy, like being in a space that's collective and surrounded by people that have some sort of shared value, in that they're all here at the same time wanting to do something that's going to be fun and good.
Yeah, no, I totally enjoy working out, getting in, trying different things. Here's the thing, you got to try different things too, right? Maybe you've tried the gym and you don't really like the gym, but here's the thing about working out and being fit, right? You eat the right foods, you go in, you be active, and do something that you enjoy, because if you enjoy it, you're going to continue to do it.
Exactly. Fitness that like doesn't clock in your head as fitness, but rather something that is like a highlight of your day.
Right. So you actually, there's a lot of people that dread going to the gym. There's a lot of people dread getting on a treadmill because they're going to fall on their face, right? There's those little ticks, and those little ticks in the mind, those are the hurdles that you got to get over. Right? And then to wake up, let's say you're waking up in the morning and you got to go work out, and then it's I got to, that's not what you really want to feel. It's like, right. Man, I get to, right? We change that one little word, it changes the whole outlook on it, right? We wake up in the morning, man, I get to go work out. It's going to be fun today, right? And I think that's what you guys are creating, is that space where it's fun, exciting, it's enjoyable. It's not work. You're taking away all the aspects of all the other gyms where it's all visual, and you're turning it inside and like, let's work on ourselves here.
Totally. We also really like to find ways to create like really special rides on our schedule throughout the month and throughout the year.
Yeah.
I love partnering with other small businesses to do events, but even just in-house, like we theme a lot of our classes. We're actually doing a live DJ class next week. I've done 2 of them in the past, and those are really phenomenal experiences because
that's cool.
The music is done not by the instructor. So I don't know what's going to come on the playlist. The DJs are in charge of that, and I go in there and get to teach the class based on like what they like
the feel
spin in their set. Yeah. And every person that's in that room is a part of an experience that you can't replicate anywhere else, and that never will be replicated again after that time together. And that is so cool.
Yeah. No, I really like it. I really like the model there. What do you think about, since you've bought it, you own 2, right?
Yes.
Are you gonna expand?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right now, I am really happy with the 2 studios that I have.
Okay.
And I have a lot of goals, targets, things that I'm working on and chasing down to like get those studios to a place that I really want them to be in. And that's my focus right now.
Okay.
More studios like down the line is not like something I definitely don't want to do, but it's not something I want to do right now.
Gotcha. No, there's a time and a place for everything, right?
Yeah.
And it's a chapter, right? Right now we're working this chapter and we're not done.
Yeah, it's exactly. I feel like this chapter started for me in May. Mm-hmm. 7 months ago. It's a fun ride, right?
Yeah. The ups and downs of owning the business, making sure everything's going, making sure people are, you're providing that experience for them.
Right.
Making sure that they like it, making sure that you're giving them, you're meeting their expectations.
Yeah, and I think just really like I've loved the foundations of Pure Velo since the very beginning. Mm-hmm. I've been with the company for over 7 years now, and the studios themselves have been through a lot of change since 2020. And now that I have control and have am in a position of ownership of my 2 locations, like I want to build a foundation that's going to last and continue to blossom and flourish year over year with more exciting like events and experiences like created for people on top of that. But really, like, my focus right now is on fine-tuning some of these things that have changed and changed again and changed again, to create stability and like a really strong foundation.
Yeah, it's exciting, guys. If check out her gym or studio, should I say? I always say gym. It's, to me, it's like I grew up in the gym world working out, and really, you know, I have a love-hate relationship with it. You know, I'll get in and start working out and get really in shape, and then I'll find something else, and then I'll have to go, you know, completely change out of the weights, and then go, you know, run a marathon in the woods. My first marathon was a trail marathon, like 3,000 foot elevation gain. Like, it was just, then I'd never run one before. I was like, oh, let me just switch it up and go do this. So, like, because I got to keep it fun, right? And this sounds like something that's fun that I need to start incorporating into, you know, kind of my workouts, the lifestyle, you know, because it really is, being fit is a lifestyle, right? It's not a diet that we're on right now. It's the choices that we make every day. It's what we put in our mouth. It's what we do. It's what activities that we partake in, right?
Right. Well, that's why, like, I don't, the word fit, I like the word health, like being healthy. Health and well-being is really like an all-encompassing lifestyle. And it is, it's taking care of your body and your mind, like, all throughout your day, every day, you know, of the week, and not that and there's balance to that too.
Oh yeah.
But really, like, my Pure Velo is a wonderful piece to fit into that lifestyle. That I also think a lot of the values that we hold at the studio can spill over into other parts of our clients' lives. They do for me, where learning to listen to my own body and my own intuition with what feels right, what feels like too much, what feels like a satisfying level of, like, challenge, has guided me in decisions that I make far outside of the studio. And those skills and that practice and that mindfulness is something that was cultivated in a Pure Velo class, and it's something I look to help our current clients learn.
And not only are they learning that, I mean, it almost sounds like you've built like a nice little community over there too. So everybody's kind of like involved and wants to help other people. Like, that's the atmosphere.
It's we're highly community driven. That doesn't mean that, like, every person there knows the other people there.
Right.
But there's something really special about what we do at that studio, and every person that comes there has a level of understanding with the other people that are there that they get it. And
I think, don't you, I was looking on your Instagram, and don't you, like, you like have these groups, like the groups that they come in, you know, made 100 rides, made 300 rides, made 500 rides.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool. That gives some people to, like, got to have some sort of goals, right? Is
Totally.
that, and that's, oh man, I'm here, you know, I'm making it. And that's half the battle, showing up.
Right. We love celebrating our riders for their, like, accomplishments, and their milestones, both, like, inside the cycle room and what they're achieving with their class count at Pure Velo, but also just with what they're doing in their life. It's really fun to give people shout outs in class for getting a job that they've been interviewing for, or for I don't know, acing their test.
Yeah.
Or just all kinds of things. And in order to be able to do that, you have to get to know your clients. And that is something that has always been a big value at Pure Velo, is making an effort to get to know the people that are riding there. Because then it's that much more fun when you go into an experience and you feel like the other people in the room, whether it's the instructor and the rider or the people you're next to, like, have some sort of familiarity, even if it's not like a super, like, deep knowledge of who the other person is, but
Right.
it's a familiarity. You've seen each other here before. You're hearing the instructor shout out things to the other riders in the room. Like it all contributes to a collective community building. The other thing that really does contribute a lot to that is that we do events both at the studio and like outside the studio in other locations that are marketed to the Pure Velo community.
So give me an example.
Facilitate
Where's the last
bonding.
one you did for that?
We did one at the Well Room
Okay.
at the beginning of November.
Okay.
That was really lovely. Are you familiar with the Well Room?
I think I've been there once.
Yeah, it's a fabulous business. And they have many shared values with us because their entire business is based on providing services that help people feel better about
Right.
themselves. So they do IV drips, they do cryofacials, B12 shots, saunas, spray tans, all kinds of different things.
I think I did the IV drips there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we threw a wellness party down at their business at the beginning of November. So our clients were invited to come, and like there was food and drinks. There were free cryofacials. They could enter in giveaways to win good prizes from both the Well Room and Pure Velo. Another large one we did this year was a big tailgate over at the stadium for one of the home football games.
Okay.
And that was super fun. That was just a Pure Velo sponsored event. So we invited friends, team members, family, community, clients to come hang with us at the stadium before one of the home games.
Oh, nice.
And threw a really cool party for everyone to be at and get to meet one another and get to hang out in a space that's not at the studio.
So not only are you just not saying, like, you're not only are you saying you're part of the community, but you're actually out there doing it too.
Yes, yeah. No, we love I love community partnerships because I love getting to share the things that mean a lot to me with people that mean a lot to me, which not that I know every client at Pure Velo, but I value, like I see them, that they love what we do at the studio, and I love that they love that. And if they enjoy the Pure Velo experience, they might like what the Well Room has to offer, because I do, and you know, they're similar values. With some of the other partnerships we have that are really in line, like with our brand, are with Corner Juice, with Roots, with Waterbird, which are all food and beverage businesses in town,
Right.
that provide like different, whether it's like a once a month discount to our riders. Mud House Coffee Roasters is down the street. That's another one. Or like Waterbird, we do a huge event with once a year. That's a really fun promo. It's probably like if you ask most people at the studio, it's their favorite event that we do.
Okay.
But these are all brands that I like regularly like engage with just in my personal life.
Right.
And also have relationships with people that, whether it's the owners, the founders, or like the marketing team, the people that work at each of these businesses, that make it really fun to collaborate with them to create experiences for my community, for their community,
Yeah.
for the Charlottesville community.
I love the business. What else before we go today? What is something that you would want, or that you would like to tell, you know, potential clients, current clients, about Pure Velo? You know, is there anything that we missed that you'd like to tell or explain? Anything that's interesting? Because I know there's so much stuff that goes on with business and everything that you have, and I think it's pretty exciting and cool what you guys are what you all are building over there. You
Right.
know?
It's a fabulous space. The vibe it's really good.
Yeah.
And it's if you've never been before, come check us out. Your first 2 classes are free. So I recommend coming with a friend, because then you too can have it. You can have like a support buddy.
Right.
This, you know, collective experience is really special. But even so, come take your first 2 classes. Come introduce yourself. I love meeting new riders. And if you've been before, but it's been a while, or you've taken a break for some reason, come back, come to the live DJ class, come to some of the theme rides we've got coming up. Just come check it out because it's a really special space, and it's ever evolving, and I think the experience there is one that I want to share with as many people as I can.
Well, I have never been, and I anticipate I'm going to show up. But if the studio has the energy that you brought today, like, I know it's going to be really good, because your energy is just like, it's very inviting, it's very happy, it's very like, I just want to see the best for you, right?
Yeah,
That's the energy that I feel from you.
Cool. Good. Yeah. Love that.
Well, good stuff. Well, I appreciate you being on the show today, sharing what your business does, everything that you guys are about, the community, the inner perspective of just having that drive from inside and helping from inside. I really dig it a lot. And if you haven't, go check it out. Pruvello. You're on, what's the address?
It's 1000 West Main Street.
And where can we look you up? Where can we find you?
At Purevello Seville on Instagram, and www.purevellocycle.com on the web.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you jumping on today.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
Absolutely. All right. Well, look forward to you next week on the show. And from there, have a great weekend.